Hi, my name is Anthony. I sing in a band called Stickup Kid, and tonight it would be my honor to take you on the road with us as we travel through the night from our concert in Birmingham, Alabama, to our next destination along the bayou, New Orleans, Louisiana. So find yourself a restful position, whether you're at home in the comfort of your own bed, on the plush carpet of a friend's living room floor, or leaned against the window of an airplane with your legs tucked into a hoodie. Perhaps you take in a deep breath through your nose, hold, and slowly release as we begin our journey onto the highway under a star-studded blanket that is the southern sky. As the evening falls into night, on what was once a sultry, sunny day, butterflies tingle in my chest at how life could feel so pure after getting off of the stage. The chatter of the last few people at the venue began to fade out. I hear the sound of doors securing from a distance as I soon realize I'll be the last one in the van. Sensing the looming end of a lengthy conversation about historical family roots, the future, and aliens, my newfound friend takes a final drag from her cigarette, the flame illuminating her face like a firefly at her lips. She passes it to me, and I indulge in the youthful honor of unexpected friendship. I inhale deep and exhale slow, feeling the dopamine as I let go, a tobacco-flavored debit on the record of my good health. I savor the warmth that spreads all the way from my head to my chest, to my stomach, and all the way down to my legs and my toes. We share an embrace as I relish the feeling of knowing we'll get to see one another again. I turn and jog toward our van that's parked beneath a luminescent, flickering glow of a streetlight, and I step in. The door slides shut behind me, and just like that, I'm whisked away into a time machine, a vessel that satisfies my fleeting desire to be everywhere all at once. The only catch is that I can't be anywhere for long, if at all. I lay my head upon my pillow, the only remnants of a permanent home I carry with me on my travels, as the wheels of our 15-passenger van and trailer, named Ghetto Rig, pick up speed. I begin to sink into the long, comfortable bench that belongs to no one but me. I hear the sound of crackling gravel beneath our tires as I try to imagine where we might be now after a series of turns. My life in the hands of the only person I've ever trusted to drive me as I sleep, Jonathan, our bassist, our older brother, and the very definition of a road dog. Born for the night shift, Jonathan's foot smoothly ascends us to highway speeds as we merge onto Interstate 59 South. His co-pilot, our drummer Cameron, who is the youngest of our band of best friends turned brothers, clutches his backpack in the shotgun seat as he sips on an iced coffee. With my hands now behind my head, feeling my long hair, I rest my feet up on the sill of the window as I stare out into the night. A tear in the upper hemisphere of the sky burns blood red as I begin to feel the hum of the engine in my chest, the bumps of the road rocking me like rippling water. Our guitarist, Curtis, is seated 2 rows behind me. I listen as he riffs a beautiful piece on an acoustic guitar passed on to him by his father, and even his father before him. The guitar is a relic, laced with electric strings, dampening the noise to a perfect volume. Our other guitarist, Bo, puts the finishing touches on a joint. He sparks a maroon lighter he stole from me and takes a deep drag, then smooths out the burn before placing it in Curtis's mouth, who grins, inhales, and doesn't break stride in his playing. It then comes to me, and I take a drag. And as I exhale, I feel the weight of the world roll off of my shoulders. I find a moment here of gratitude for all that I've been fortunate to experience, all that I have now, and all that could come to be. Curtis concludes his playing and retires to his bunk. Bo enjoys the last few kisses from the green goddess and bids me goodnight by messing with my hair before he disappears as well. The van hums along to the rhythm of Jonathan's music, a band called Dangers. The heavy, harsh vocals blend into the sound of rubber meeting concrete. It's no more than a box fan of emotion, leading us into the night. I've lost track of the miles, the days. I've only the moments and the occasional flashes of light on the ceiling of the van, from straggling little southern towns with 24-hour diners, simple strip malls, the evening shift shutting down and giving way to the graveyarders. I yawn and feel my shoulders sink, releasing the last bit of tension and adrenaline held from the concert. I feel the van veer steadily around a bend in the highway as we traverse a small town called Fairfield. I smell fresh pasture. I feel my eyelids fighting to stay open as I consciously choose to let them fall. That smell. Fresh. Evergreen. Olive oil. A bullet train. Italy. I'm thinking of Florence. To Venice. Yes, there's a province there, north of Florence, called Barberino di Mugello. I smelled the smell before. I was 17 then, seated with big blocky headphones hugging my ears, placed into a clunky iPod. Do you remember iPods? I was staring out of the window of that bullet train as I overlooked golden hills and evergreen pastures, a small, peaceful village I could have only imagined in children's books or travel magazines. Michelangelo may as well have been painting it live in front of my very eyes. Paradiso terrestre, an elder man said to me. I looked at him and he grinned pridefully. Earthly paradise. And it was. Never in my life had I felt so small, in a world so undiscovered. It felt like I had unlocked a new map in a video game, and exploration was more than warranted. It was necessary. It wasn't until we reached Della Liberta that I experienced what I can only assume the older man on the train would have described as Paradiso sull'acqua, heaven on water. It felt as though all of a sudden the bullet train disappeared from Earth. Or maybe it was the trees, the plains, the earth that disappeared from us. The sky was white and beaming with sunlight, the ocean in every direction of every window. I felt confused until the horizon brought on and beckoned something closer in the distance. Buildings. Eloquent buildings. A city floating on the water. In the middle of nowhere on the ocean rested the city of Venice. Here I was, 17 and wide-eyed, thinking surely I must be in heaven. What fortune I had to be there. I can smell the ocean as I tour the city on Vaporetti, a water bus. A bump cascades me into an older man who thought I did so intentionally. He flicks my nose and says, "Don't push." It was so cute I couldn't even be mad. I remember a room full of mirrors. Mirrors as floors, as ceilings, as walls. I recall seeing my youthful face, tinted blue, my long brown hair swaying. A smell. Of all the places in the world, I'd have thought I'd smell something so similar. I wouldn't have guessed it would be here, in Fairfield, Alabama. Are we still in Fairfield? How far are we from New Orleans? Each thought seeps into the next. I let my thoughts pass like clouds overhead, and I focus on allowing my feelings to simply exist. a droplet of dye into a glass of still water. Any anxious thoughts cannot contend with my happiness. Any fears cannot contend with the strength of my mind, a mind fortified through years of overcoming every hurdle thrown its way. I get caught up on one thought, though, and it's the one thought that slips through every time. I miss people. My mom, my dad, my friends, Akira and Mizuki, in Japan. I can see Akira now. His long black hair, his beautiful big smile that he wore around, that inspiring, hopeful smile I'll never forget. It was one of the only times in my life where I was truly present. I didn't look at the past. I didn't look toward the future. I was just there, in a moment, in every moment, one by one, and it was truly, purely bliss. It's in this moment that I hope for the day that Akira and I will be able to skateboard again in the streets of Shinjuku, sharing a love for a sport, an international language that both of us speak fluently. A brief feeling of fear that I'll never see them again is soothed with love and gratitude. Gratitude that I ever got to meet them. That I had the honor of being welcomed into Japan to share music. To have made many lifelong friends. I know I will be back one day. Although I do not know when. I could have never dreamed of being there in the first place. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. I'm grateful. Grateful for the day I received the invitation. Grateful for the plane ride over. And for the warm sake that I drank to ease my nerves. The thought of sake makes me think of a dive bar in Tokyo. Kanpai, we all said as we clinked glasses of tall beers. Our plates full of chicken hearts on skewers. The bartenders and hostesses thrilled to serve Americans as we became drunken fools, laughing until tears alongside our newfound Japanese brothers and sisters. I remember driving on what felt like the opposite side of the road, the trees so delicately trimmed in shades of green I'd never seen strewn about. The slight cloud cover, signs that read caution, monkey crossing. Lo and behold, we see a few monkeys in their habitat. The only time my foreign eyes had ever seen a monkey outside of an enclosure at a zoo. Free to live. Free to pursue. I wonder if they feel the same freedom as I do now, in the bunk of this van, playing music for a living. Smiling, laughing, singing, inspiring. I wonder if the 9-to-5 job I fear is akin to the very enclosure that those monkeys often exist in my country. I am that monkey, and he is me. A mutual understanding. I smile and giggle slightly as I readjust my body and think about sitting next to him, perhaps sharing a banana. Perhaps he steals my bandana and wears it on his head. I think now about putting my arm around him and becoming friends. The power of friendship is so beautiful I could cry. I'm so lucky, I think, to have met so many friends who have shown their quality. So you see, whether or not I see them again isn't the point. The point is that I got to know them at all. In a city as large as Tokyo, where neon lights meet Buddhist temples of old, where record stores, hostels, brothels, theme parks, and small food establishments all coexist, across an ocean as vast, as deep, as dark, as navy blue as the Atlantic, there is something far bigger, genuine connection between people. And I've had the privilege in my life of experiencing it tenfold. I solely wish in this moment that everyone on earth has a chance to experience this too. For if they did, maybe the world would be kinder to one another. Maybe we could levitate from our sorrows and the anchors that hold us down. I sense an illumination in the fronts of my eyelids as our van pulls up to a slow halt. I hear the door slide open. I slightly open an eye and see Jonathan. He smiles at me and cracks open an energy drink. The door slides shut, and our van ignites once again, bringing back the peace of white noise that I have grown to require when I sleep. The first time I ever heard white noise was a ceiling fan when I lived in Kansas. That's where it all started for me. On a single mattress, in a room that wasn't mine, plastic glow-in-the-dark stars gooped onto the popcorn ceiling above. I would stare at those stars, listening to my CD player, to one of the many mixtapes my mother burned me in her spare time. Sometimes in the evening, I'd sit outside, on the toppest point of the monkey bars we had in the backyard, and I'd look out across the acres and acres of farmland. The wheat waved in the summer, swayed back and forth, a gentle push of rhythm from a cool Kansas breeze. I thought of my hands brushing along the crops as I walked through them, becoming one with the rolling hills and prairie that consumed me, before the world obsessed over TVs and our phones. I often wondered on those monkey bars what life would bring me. I envisioned playing music at the same concerts as my favorite bands at the time. Green Day, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Creed. I wanted to be cool like John Bon Jovi. I wanted to control a crowd like Freddie. I wanted the angst of Billy Joe and the passion and heart of Phil Collins. Long winters I had in Kansas City. Cold ones, playing football with the boys. We just crossed into Louisiana, baby, Jonathan says. I open my eyes and peer out of the window. The sky is practically on fire. The irony of the red sky as our rig traverses the Red River. Swamps and marsh lay still in the night, peaceful and undisturbed, the way it should be, a division between mankind and what lies beneath our bodies of water. I'm a lover of animals, perhaps jaded in thinking I could befriend them all, but even Ash Ketchum couldn't befriend every Pokemon. Some things in this life are best left respected. Another Tony put it best when he once said, "Those who want respect, give respect." A feeling of mystery surrounds me, and I allow myself to sink into it. The bayou, the thought of skulls on beaded necklaces, face paint, thoughts of the rose tattoos on my mother's forearms, and her wish to one day experience Mardi Gras. I'm thinking of eating good. This Kansas boy's always been allured to the taste of Creole cuisine. Salt, black pepper, garlic powder, thyme, oregano, cayenne pepper, onion powder, other Cajun spice blends. I even encountered a spice down in Lafayette called Slap Your Mama. It was there that I savored alligator gumbo with andouille sausage and crab legs for the first time. My only time in New Orleans leading up to now consisted of a few simple earthly pleasures. Jello shots, injected into my mouth via syringe by beautiful southern women, and live music. The silhouette of exotic dancers illuminated by purple lights in the windows of neutral-toned townhouses throughout the French Quarter. Now, I'm not a man of voodoo practitioner or Caribbean culture, but I feel in my bones a comfort near the vibration of it, a calling even, as if I had lived a life here once before, and remnants of it remained in my blood, serving me, protecting me, breathing this life into me, baby. I reckon it could be related to my southern roots. Being a fifth-generation descent of General Lee isn't something I take pride in, but it does often make me wonder, What secrets lie in the genetics of my vessel? What learnings have I yet to unearth about myself that give me an innate comfortability and attraction toward the South? Why do I get that tingling feeling down my spine when I flirt with Southern women? Why do they skip my friends over and call me baby, honey, and sugar? It's like they can feel the South in my blood. It's something in life that just is, always has been, and always will be for me. A flat circle through time. It feels like we are born into the same life, over and over. Being from Kansas is just close enough on the surface to hear my twang for sure. But there's something more to it here in the South. The cemeteries, the black magic in the air. From dark swamps thick with cypress trees to sun-kissed marshes playing host to herons and egrets. What this city has that most places lack is spirit. Alas, I can't keep my thoughts straight anymore. Drifting in and out of dreams and wakefulness all night comes with the territory of sleeping on the road. Thoughts of riding my motorcycle down the coast of the outer Sunset District in San Francisco fill my head. Looking out at Ocean Beach, remembering to remind myself that I still need to repair the small tear in my wetsuit so I can surf again. I think about the only woman I've ever loved, because I no longer pretend that she doesn't cross my mind. I wonder where she is now, if she's happy. I hope that she is. You see, you learn a lot about love when you have it and lose it. You learn a lot about being a friend when you're out here by yourself. A lot about the light when you're coming out of the dark. I miss her in ways that have nothing to do with the past or an aching yearning for what once was. I miss her giggles, the green apple smell of her hair, the way she liked the lids of her soda cans turned to the side and pretended to sleep so I'd come find her under the covers and tickle her every morning. Playing rock, paper, scissors at streetlights on our motorcycles. Alas, I surrender this feeling. I center my energy and focus it. When I miss someone dearly, I've learned to focus your energy and envision turning it into a laser beam of love and absolutely blasting them with it from afar. Here in this moment, I focus all of that love, gratitude, kindness, and in good faith, I blast her with my laser beam of love and good vibes, hoping wherever she is, she feels it. Whether or not she knows it's from me, I just hope she feels it. Jonathan wakes us gently. You guys have to see this. I sit up and slip on my shoes. As the door slides open, a fresh taste of earthly air fills my lungs like never before. I beheld in that moment a sky filled with stars. Like the glimmer of the sun making diamonds on an ocean, the sheer amount of visibility of the universe immediately dropped me into flow state. There were no thoughts. There were no dreams. There were no desires. There was no happiness nor pain. Just a kid witnessing something he couldn't believe he was witnessing. Purple and red tears through the blackness of night, like glossy paint smeared across a canvas. Every star and every planet illuminated, as if they all received a fresh change of light bulbs. In the middle of nowhere, not a sound of a cricket, nor the trail of another vehicle. Just 5 men making brief contact with the divine, and in the droplets of a moment, we were all children again, making up for lost time.